Hi, I'm Bill,
I'm Lori.
and welcome to episode 6 of the Paddle Tap Podcast, coming to you live but recorded from San Mateo, California. Today is July 30th. Uh, I want to just start off by you see several products in front of us here. We are not sponsored by anybody. We'd love to be sponsored by somebody, but we're not. So what we do is we just share our pickleball related products that we use to give you some ideas if you're looking for various products. Um, but if you would like to send us a product to try out, we'd be happy to do that, and I'll put our email address in the video description so you can reach out and contact us. In episode 5, I mentioned Tosi snacks, and I now have my what I guess they call these super bites, and so they're about this size. So they're really good for your pickleball bag. You know, if you just want a brief snack when you're playing. Very tasty. Again, I have an issue. I have to be gluten free, and while we are all different as far as our ability to tolerate gluten, I really can't tolerate any, and these work perfectly well for me as a gluten-free snack. So I just wanted to mention that. All right, let's.
And we scanned them with the Fig app.
We did scan them with the Fig app.
Which, can screen foods that have gluten or other sensitivities, other histamine sensitivities. And when we got the sample box, I ate all the ones that Bill couldn't eat. That these had scan negative and appropriate for him, but I have to say they're really delicious.
Yeah, and you like crunchy too, and
I
so
like crunchy.
these are crunchy, and they have protein, no GMO, USDA certified organic, low sugar, and again they have protein in them. So okay, so let's get into kind of the rhythm here of the show. There is some Major League Pickleball news that we thought we would share. First, I will mention something, and then Lori will mention something. The one that caught my eye is they now have player safety rules. Players have indicated that certain paddle cosmetic designs impair their ability to visually pick up the ball. And I don't know if you kind of how much you follow pickleball, either PPA or Major League Pickleball. I think it was in a PPA event, and someone was complaining about Tyson McGuffin's white Selkirk paddle that had some gold on it. Anyway, the new rules are now in effect for Major League Pickleball, regulating the usage of paddles that contain regulated colors. And I'll put the regulated colors chart in this video so you can kind of see what colors they are. But basically a gray, a white, colors that are similar to the pickleballs that are used and those type of things.
Yeah, I think you can't have green also.
Correct.
Does that include clothing?
You know, I don't know. This was specific to the paddles again.
But this is only for Major League Pickleball. It wasn't
Correct.
for PPA events.
But you know, I would expect that the paddle manufacturers, like, you know, immediately when I saw the new rule, here we have a Yola with a little bit of yellow on it and everything. But I would
mean that, but basically the background's black.
Yeah, well, and there's something relative to percentage of coverage and all those things. So I imagine we'll find out more as we go along. But again, with my rhombus, you know, we got the rhombus logo there, but other than that, it's basically black. So it should not be distracting to anybody I play with. But again, I don't play in Major League Pickleball, so you know. But just thought I'd mention that. And then you had a piece of news.
Yes, my one of our coaches from the Tyson McGuffin camps, the league coach, that's other than Tyson himself, was Kyle McKinzie, and now he's the coach of the Major League Pickleball team, DC Pickleball. And this year's team includes my favorite player, Christian Alshon, Riley Newman, and Jade and Jackie Kawamoto. And so that should be really exciting.
Yeah, congratulations to Kyle. We, again, I think it was Newport Beach where we were at a Tyson McGuffin camp, and we, as part of the camp, you have an opportunity to go out for dinner after the day, and we got to talk with Kyle extensively in a small group setting, and he's got a very interesting history. And one of the reasons I like the Tyson McGuffin video series so much is because Kyle is normally part of that video, and so yeah, congratulations, Kyle. And
they're really fortunate, I think.
yeah, and you're going to have to order some DC Pickleball Club teamwear. You know?
Yeah, I guess so.
We'll have to. Yeah, so you can root for your Christian Alshon, your
My
crush,
heartthrob.
your heartthrob. And then just a piece of local news. Again, we're located in San Mateo, California, and you might notice here we have an extra chair. So if you're local to the area and would like to come on the podcast and share some of your experience and stories around pickleball, feel free to reach out to us. Again, the email address will be in the video description. But where I was going with this is that there is now a 20 indoor court facility in San Jose called the Hub, and Lori and I drove down there yesterday. We'll put some video in this video, and they were having an open house. If we would have brought our pickleball gear, we could have gone on the courts and played for free. Again, you can go to the Hub. They also have one in San Diego, and you'll find information about membership fee and what you get with the membership and everything. Again, for us, not
It's
sure.
a little bit far for us.
Yeah, a little bit far, but I would think come winter time, especially if we have the winter we had last year in California, Northern California, if we have another winter like that, then it might be worthwhile to pay the fee and play some indoor pickleball. But we'll see as the time comes. But a beautiful facility, and you could just tell the people were just super excited to have something like that in their area, and they were having fun in there. And they have the areas, some of the courts are 2.5 to 3.0, 3.0 to 3.5, and different levels. And
there's plenty of seating for waiting.
yeah, you can reserve courts as part of your membership. You can drop in without a court reservation and go on the challenge courts. You can play as much as you want during the hours that they're open. So I'm very curious about it. I'm finding a reason to talk Lori into maybe trying out a membership for a couple of months, but we won't go there yet. Right, so I think that's it. Do we have an update on your paddle?
Oh yeah, I received the antibiotic hula paddle, 14 millimeter, and my original paddle was 8 ounces, and I had been playing with a 7.6 ounce paddle tech, which I felt was just the perfect weight for me, and so I asked them if I could exchange it.
You asked Yola.
I asked Yola if I could exchange it, and they did send me another paddle that's 7.5 ounces, and it just seems perfect for me. I'm still getting used to maybe the sweet spot, but that's something I expect whenever you get a new paddle, because I think the balance is a little bit different than what I've been playing with. But I really like it, and I'm glad I purchased it. Now, the only difference is I ordered another paddle, and then they're going to, when they receive it, they're going to give me a refund. But I did have to pay for my own shipping to return the paddle.
And I'm really glad we got that obstacle out of the way. Now there's no obstacle to Lori becoming a right side specialist as we get ready to play tournaments when I turn 70 in 2024. So I am expecting a Colin Johns type skill level now that you got your paddle issue resolved. And I guess Colin is playing with Yola as well, but he's using the
16 millimeter.
16 millimeter, yeah. Do you want to talk about the past week from our training and drilling perspective?
Okay.
Do you want me to lead it off?
Okay.
Okay. So this past Monday we had our second lesson with Coach Marcia, and we now have a series called Lesson Debrief. So after each lesson with Coach Marcia, Lori and I are gonna sit down when we get home, and we're gonna share our immediate thoughts about that lesson, kind of what we worked on, and what our thoughts are, and those type of things.
Yes, that way we won't forget what we're supposed to be working on. And so she did give us not a homework assignment, but something that she thought we should work on.
Yeah, and I'm going to touch on this a bit in the video recommendation that I have for this week, but there was a particular purpose why I chose a frequency of every 2 weeks for us to take lessons, and I'll get into that a little bit later. So that's what our frequency is, every 2 weeks. In this lesson, it was basically all about moving through the transition zone using a series of drops, whether that be a drop off the bounce, kind of a block volley drop. So that was what that lesson was, and we are been working on that this past week, and we'll, I think, work on it. I think working on moving through the transition zone is probably something we are going to want to incorporate a certain percentage of the time each time we drill. And then again, we're still sorting out how much we're drilling versus rec play and that, but I think it's something we just got to continually work on to improve and improve, so that's my thoughts. Again, I had a goal of drilling more than rec play. Well, that was easy this past week for me because I injured my foot after 2 hours of play, and so that was on Wednesday, so there was no more rec play for me last week, and probably won't be for another 2 weeks, I imagine. But I did get in 10 hours of drill time last week. Now, when I say 10 hours of drill time, sometimes that's by myself because Lori's out playing rec. Other time it's because Lori and I together and we're sharing that time. So, but I'm pretty happy. And what I worked on last week as far as drill time, including today, was some dinking. And we're going to put up a dinking drill video, serves, and then again drop shots from different locations in the transition zone. So I thought it was a good week, and I was really excited about the work with Coach Marcia, and I'm really happy the way that's progressing. What's your thoughts?
Well, I was really pleased with how well I was doing. I was able to really drop the ball from as far back as the baseline, and they were dropping. I was able to drop most of them in the kitchen as long as I was behind the ball, and I waited until the ball was descending as I hit it. That's when I was most successful, and I was really pleased by that. And I was able to move up through the transition zone and get to the line, and also do some block volleys into the kitchen. But it's really different doing that with the ball machine. But then today, after our drilling, I went to play rec play, and part of it was I didn't sleep well, so I only slept like about 4 hours, 4.5 hours maybe. And I was just like really tired, and it was hard for me to focus while we were playing. And I was so disappointed that my whole all my drop, I wasn't able to drop it. I just forgot about the mechanics of dropping it, so I really wasn't that successful. So I'm just gonna have to work on trying to get more sleep.
Yeah, and I kind of have a video on that in my mind on what how important sleep is and those type of things. But yeah, Lori's a late nighter, known to be binge watching Justified or some other show late into the early morning hours, and then me trying to get her out of bed for drill time at 9 o'clock in the
No, I
morning.
get up.
Wow.
It's just that I wake up, but then I'm not. I haven't slept, very, deeply for the whole night.
Yeah.
Last night I was trying to. We were going camping, and I was thinking a lot about trying to make sure Bill had the right amount of food, right kinds of food while we're camping, and it just. I was worried about it, so I didn't sleep well at all.
Yeah, well, we'll work on that. I mean, if we want to win tournaments, we want to get to the podium, we want to stand on that platform with a gold around our neck, we're going to continue to need to make minor changes in our life style that helps support that goal. And, we'll just figure out what is it going to take to get you sleeping properly. So come tournament day, you have had the experience of learning how to sleep properly and how to go to bed properly and those type of things, so you get the right number of hours to sleep. So we'll work on that. And right now my eyes are being attacked by something in the backyard, and there's all kinds of issues we have to deal with as pickleball players, let alone physical injuries, and then there's things like allergies and stuff like that that's going on. So all right, so what's up next?
I think our video of the week.
No, I think what we're going to be focused on next week, before we get there, again, I think, for me, we should just continue to drill on drop shots and moving through the transition zone. And I think, what I am mobile enough where I can stand at the kitchen line at the other side of the net, and I can feed you a ball. You could feed it. You could try to drop it, and if you're a little bit long, I'll slam it back to you, for you to try to move up through that zone. It will make it a little bit more realistic than in a game, and then we can also continue the repetition of trying to get the feel and the mechanics of your drops. Anything else? I think that's the big thing about this week. The next lesson is on this coming not tomorrow Monday, but a week from this coming Monday. And then with my foot still in recovery, healing, that you'll probably be the single person in the lesson. I'll go to the lesson, but I probably won't participate. So that should be good. All right, so let's start to close things out with the videos of the week. And my video pick was one called Coach Chad, Court Positioning and Zones. And as you may know, Coach Simone and Coach Chad are married. So
right.
they're husband and wife. And Chad, he also gives pickleball lessons and everything. And it was a good video on court positioning, on where you should be on the court, and kind of dispelling the myth that the forehand always has the middle. Boy, that was tough to say. And so it was a good video to watch, gave a different perspective. A couple of key takeaways is that based upon your level, how you cover the court is going to change. When you're at a lower level like me, court positioning can be a little bit more black and white. There's 3 zones in front of Lori, who'll be, or I'll be on the left, zone 1, 2, and 3. Lori will be on the right, 1, 2, and 3. And there'll be the similar zones on the other side. When the ball is in back left, I'll move over to zone 1. Lori will kind of start to move over to the center line. So what we do is probably going to be a little bit more prescriptive at our level, but as your abilities increase and you go up in level, then things are not so much black and white. And I think that's important to
So,
keep in mind.
would you say that if you're at a lower level, then the forehand does take a little, and as you increase?
Well, I think at a lower level, you can make that decision between you and your partner. I mean, so there's always that conversation, who takes the middle. But there may be times where the forehand is out of position and the right side has to take it. So again, but I think from a teaching perspective, I've always kind of heard, the forehand covers the middle. But my mind is open to now is that as we increase our skill levels, that may not necessarily be true. And also the position of if the forehand is coming over to take it, should the person on the right side be a little bit further back to give room for that person to get that shot. So anyway, it's interesting video to me. If you're developing your skills, you're at a lower level, it might be interesting to you. All right, your video of the week.
Well, in my second lesson, I'm really working on dinking because Marcia said I was hitting my dinks like I was hitting a ground stroke. So I've been watching a lot of videos and also a video by Tyson and watching the pros play. They hit most of their dinks when the ball is descending. That's the slowest part of the arc, and they hit under it, or they don't hit it. They push the ball back up.
Would you say they lift?
They lift the ball back up, and so you have to wait. And I think that as a lower level player, you get too anxious. So I'm trying to focus on waiting for the ball to be in the right position so I could lift it up. And now I've gotten better because I've been able to, in rec play, lift the ball back over the net instead of just whipping it over. But it still takes a lot of work. And I've heard pros say that they spend a lot of time just thinking. It's hard to find people that would be willing to spend that much time thinking. But I'm hoping I have a partner that would be willing to do that.
And who would that be? Well, didn't we do an exercise Saturday morning where we were dinking?
Yeah, we were working on
the
video that Tyson had mentioned it. This was a video for higher level players, but the skill, waiting for the ball to be at the right position and directing the ball in different places really made, is really helpful, even if you're a lower level player.
And I think leveraging off helpful and dinking and all that, prior to June 27th, prior to when we decided to work together as a team to go play tournaments in 2024, clearly I took a different approach to drilling and dinking and everything else. But now I know that all those things are important. And I also think what we're refining is when we go to drill, we have a better plan now. We have a better understanding of what the drill is about and how to execute the drill. So, that's prior to the 27th of June. We'd have a conversation and you want to go drill and then you'd want me to hit the ball this way and that way. But now we're much more organized. And I think if you are going to drill, if you're going to spend time drilling, I think having a good plan, that you execute in that drill session and
What
how
you
you're
want
gonna,
to accomplish.
how you're going to execute it is very important. And we're not 100% there yet, but we're much better when we go to the court. We both have looked at the video if we're trying to replicate a video. Of course, with Coach Marcia, with the lessons, we're both in the lessons, so we know what the exercise looks like and how to execute on that. So that's very good. And
It reduces friction.
yeah, yeah. But if you want to make the maximum use of the time, you have to have a plan, and both people have to be in sync. And I think the more we get in sync, the better we'll be on the court as far as teammates being in sync on what we're going to accomplish, how we're going to accomplish in that. So anyway, sorry to go on the soapbox a little bit, but having a good plan is really helpful, and I'm sure we'll refine it even more. All right, I think we've just covered about everything. If you're still watching this video, well, thanks. If you like this kind of content, please give it a thumbs up, because likes really determine who gets to see this thumbnail in their feed, where they then have an opportunity to click on it, and that's very helpful.
And subscribing really helps too. That means you get to see our videos more often.
There you go. And as always, we're open to comments, so even if it's just saying hello, we're starting to get comments now in response to our videos.
And some have been very encouraging, so please thank you very much.
And if you have any questions or whatever, and also in the video description, you'll find our email address if you want to reach out to us and maybe fill that chair for one of the podcasts. Or there's also links to Amazon. We have an affiliate marketing relationship with them, and we have something coming up with Rhombus that we'll be able to share with you probably in our next podcast. So always check out the video descriptions, where you'll also find our links to the videos of the week that we're discussing here in each podcast. All right, what do we say?
Like, share, and subscribe.
Other than that, hope to see you
On the court.
on the courts.